I'm Ann Udall, and I'm a member of the PAN board. And more, it is, exactly. I've got a few lines for Patrick in a minute, okay? So just hold on, although I've been told I can't be funny tonight. I have to speed date because we all got to get to the debate. And I can't pick on Mort because he and Wolf are somewhere about to tell us who won and lost. So I know they're somewhere. So I'm going to try to do this quickly. So as I said, Mo's my dad. Now, depending on where I am, as Patrick pointed out, I can be Stu's niece. I can be Mark's sister. I can be Tom's cousin. And tonight I want you all to know I'm Tess's aunt. So Tess Udall's with me tonight, my aunt and Mark's daughter, and just an amazing woman in her own right. So she's my date tonight. She's over there. I would like to say that there was something a little surreal about the two Udalls sitting next to the Kennedy. There was some nice repartee going on. I think, as some of you know, the Udalls are often referred to as the Kennedys of the West. We've often wondered how come the Kennedys aren't referred to as the Udalls of the East, but perhaps we might start something. So, Patrick and Diane, thank you. That was, part of this dinner every year with Diane, and the opportunity we have to sit at a meal that so many of you go to, so many fundraising meals, so many evenings I know that you spend in service to others, but to have Diane engage Patrick in that way and to hear the story, and Patrick, the work you're doing. Thank you, and thank you very much, Diane, as well. Dad fought a lot of battles. I think one of the hardest ones he ever fought was Parkinson's. He got Parkinson's in the 80s and passed away in 1998. The disease was very debilitating. It was very hard to watch. It was very humbling for me as a daughter to watch a man that I adored and loved fight a disease that really, it never got the best of him, but it sure tried hard. He never lost his sense of humor. One of the jokes he used to tell was about a woman named Paula Parkinson, who was apparently quite known in the Capitol at some point for being in the middle of a sex scandal. And Mo used to say that there was a similarity between Parkinson's disease and Paula Parkinson. They both cause you to lose sleep, and they both give you the shakes. So he kept humor to the very, very end. And what we've done every year at this dinner is give the Udall Award to an individual or individuals who personified Dad's commitment to public service, his belief in integrity and collaboration, the belief that, that when you worked as an elected official or when you worked in the government, you did it for love of country and for the giving back as part of being a citizen. So when we looked at who we were going to acknowledge tonight, it was very, very clear that there was one person in this room that deserved this award above all other, and that's Colonel Kurt Friedl, who you all know. His work has been amazing, and he epitomizes this award. You will see there's a very long piece about him in your program. I would encourage you to look at it. It's full of lots of acronyms. In terms of all the places that he's worked and all the work that he's done. He is a very humble man. One of the things apparently I heard today, sorry, Colonel, I'm going to tell this story. He really wanted to know if we had made a mistake. Was there somebody else in the room that maybe deserved the award more than we did? And that just told me everything I needed to know about this man. He's a remarkable contributor to this work. He's the director currently of the U.S. Army Medical Research and Material Command's Telemedicine and Advanced Technology Research Center, where he oversees the Neurotoxin Exposure Treatment Parkinson's Research Program. Every year he waits to make sure he gets his money, and every year he goes and oversees the only Parkinson-specific federal grant program, which invests more than $340 million in Parkinson's research since its inception. He's been, prior to being named the TATRC, I think is how it's said, TATRC director, the colonel directed major initiatives at the Department of Defense, the Defense Women's Health Research Program, the Department of Defense Gulf War Illnesses, and Bone Health and Military Medical Readiness. He's a very highly regarded researcher. He's a passionate advocate. He comes every year to this dinner. He's a silent hero. I found myself pretty moved tonight thinking about giving this award because in this day and age, he's just another example for all of us of the selfish service that so many members of our armed forces are giving to this country. It seems particularly relevant tonight to honor Colonel Friedl. And he, which I'm sure Vicki's pretty excited about, is actually retiring from the Army after 30 years of service. So Colonel, please come up and receive the Udall Award. I will stand aside and then you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I think this is the first time in my entire career that I haven't run the meeting or owned the meeting and could talk as long as I wanted. I've been given a script, and I'm going to try to stay to my script. I am going to go off script, though, actually, and just start by, first of all, I want to thank my wife. And it's my wife, Vicki, who's made it possible. She wanted to come to this tonight to find out what it is that's kept me up late nights for the last 14 years. What is it about Parkinson's and all this work that's been going on, and why is there all this passion? And I'm not speaking just for myself, but a whole team of people. And Dr. Steve Grade is one of those key people. He's been our portfolio manager, and he's hiding somewhere in the back. So I want to also call him out. But then I would like to thank Ann Udall, the PAN Board of Directors, past and present, some of whom I've interacted with, Morton Kondracki, John Rogers, Robin Elliott, Ron Gulowich, and others. And of course, Amy Comstock-Ricks for this thoughtful award. It's truly an honor for me and my group at Tatrick to receive this prestigious recognition. We're just truly honored. I'm almost speechless, and people who know me know I'm never speechless. But I want to thank all of you, the Parkinson's research advocates in this room who've made this really possible. Some of you followed this program from the beginning, but for those of you who have not, I need to remind you of the fiscal year 1997 congressional ad championed by Joan Samuelson and PAN that got this all started. We've had congressional ads every year since then. I don't think we've missed a year. And our job has been to get that money in the hands of researchers as fast as we could so they could start today, not a year from now, not in 5 years from now as we figure out sort of what the questions are and try to refine that. We've got to just sort of, we can run up and down along the edge of the riverbank here and look for the perfect place to cross, or we can jump in and start swimming and figure out how we're going to get across. And that's really the attitude of problem solvers. More than a decade later, we can report that this program has had a huge impact on advancing Parkinson's research, and that it'll make a difference for patients and prevent Parkinson's in future generations, including soldiers who are put in harm's way, exposed to repeated head injury today. You're hearing about all the repeated blast injuries, traumatic brain injury, potentially neurotoxic chemical exposures, and other military risk factors that may be risk factors for later neurodegenerative disease. It's part of a continuum. So what we're studying for Parkinson's is also going to be relevant to today's 20-year-olds and trying to prevent these sort of problems later on. We're also learning from what we learned from Parkinson's how to better come up with biomarkers and assessment tools that we could apply to those 20-year-olds today to decide whether they're fit for duty or whether they need to be pulled out. More than half of the investigators that we funded have also now obtained larger grants from NINDS, NIEHS, and the Michael J. Fox Foundation on the basis of their first proof of principle or preliminary data generated for us because they had a great idea that just needed to be tested. We perform an important function as the incubator of good ideas, the start point for important longitudinal studies, and a constant reminder that this is about problem solving with a passion for solutions. We've been the safety net to test good ideas and provide support sooner when something important was falling through the process cracks. And it's, again, thanks to your support that we've been able to do that, right? All the projects have ensured that we're leaving no stone unturned in the quest to understand this disease so that we can prevent, better diagnose, and treat. We also put an emphasis on comorbidities, the problems that Parkinson's patients have as a consequence of the disease, such as sleep problems and depression, which may also serve as early signs and symptoms, and it's also relevant to our young kids that are fighting today. The funded research seeded the field with investigators who are expanding their biomarker research to applications that would also apply to detecting head injury in young soldiers. It also addressed safety concerns of chemical pesticides that we ask soldiers to use. Now we're learning much more about genetically vulnerable subsets of individuals, which may help us to develop more effective protection for everyone. So finally, I really want to shine the main credit for this award on the key researchers that have made this program a success. If I could reduce the list to our favorite 24, Steve and I went through this and we got it down to our favorite 100. You know, we'd be here all night, especially because I'd want to expand on what each one of these superstars have contributed to advance this research. You can't mention one and sort of not put it in some kind of context. So, Uli, Howard, we're not going to call you out by name, and I'm not sure who else is here in the audience. We would be here all night, but I'm going to ask all of you to settle for a description of the common characteristics of this group. We call them the C4 group, competent, committed clinical champions. It's identifying those people. It's not just about putting more money into the research. It's about putting the research money in the hands of these kinds of people who are going to run with it. We've got this stable of racehorses that are running down the track, and we want to stay with them across the finish line. It's not like your grant ended and now it's all over. Come back and compete for the next one. They're in a race here, and we're not at the finish line yet. We want to get to that problem-solving step. I like to call these people the Parkinson's research zealots, because that's what it really takes. That's what they are, first and foremost. They represent the secret sauce of a program that's quietly tried to make a difference. Our C4s are problem solvers, and they're as passionate as all of you in bringing their talents to bear on Parkinson's disease. So really, we've got to thank the researchers who are making this happen and have made a huge difference already. We're going to get there because of them. Also want to thank Dr. Steve Great, who's been the TATRIC program manager, the vital force, and a key strategist in this program. I want to thank all of our colleagues who are making a difference in this battle, notably Story Landis at NINDS, who got this award last year. And before her, one of her program managers, Diane Murphy Diulis, who was an enlightened program manager even before Story got there, and we did all sorts of business together. And there are even people at the VA, like Bill Goldberg and others who have coordinated this effort so that the federal portfolio in this area is coordinated, efficient, and we each have unique niches that we bring to the table to make this work and try to advance progress in this disease. Finally, again, I want to thank my wife, Vicki, who's made it all possible for me to do whatever it is I've done. Thank you very much.